Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that affects all of us, aging. Time keeps moving and it brings changes in the way we train and we live our daily lives. In this video we'll break it down in two parts, the bad news and the good news. We'll start by exploring what aging is and how it affects our bodies. Then we talk about how training can slow down, stop or even reverse some of these effects. By the end, you also get some practical strategies on how to modify and adjust your training, keep lifting as you age. And just to be clear, aging is affected by many factors like diet, sleep, social connections. But for today's video, we're only focusing on the training aspect. So let's jump in, you guys. So what is aging? Aging, as it turns out, is not fully understood. We don't have all the answers to why our bodies gradually start to break down over time. Aging happens at the cellular level, but what's important for us are the visible and physical symptoms that we all experience. Already from the age of 30, we start experiencing some decline in strength, recovery and energy levels. 2000 years ago, this wasn't much of a problem because life expectancy was around 30 and most people didn't live long enough to deal with some of the effects of aging. But today, thanks to modern technology, we expanded our lifespan far beyond what our biology was genetically designed for. But it's not only biology, it's also the way we live. The way we age is probably a combination of our genetics and modern lifestyle. Today, we move less, we sit more, and our daily activities lack variety. We're not stressing our bodies in a way that keeps them strong and resilient. And this brings up to a key idea. We don't stop playing because we're getting old. We're getting old because we stop playing. What happens to our body? As we age, we start losing muscle mass. This phenomenon is also known as sarcopenia. By the time we hit 30, we start losing 3 to 5% of muscle mass every 10 years. This affects our strength and makes even simple activities harder to do. Then as we get older, our bones lose minerals, becoming weaker and more prone to fractures. This can lead to conditions like osteoporosis, mostly common in women after menopause, but also affecting men. Our joints also suffer over time. The less we move, the worse it gets. Joint stiffness becomes common and eventually calcification can set in, which further limits our mobility. This lack of variety in movement can lead to a vicious cycle. We move less because we're stiff and we get stiffer because we move less. Our cardiovascular system takes a hit too. As we age, our VO2 max, which is the body's ability to use oxygen efficiently, declines. This means reduced endurance, making physical activity even more challenging. The heart also becomes less efficient at pumping blood, leading to lower overall stamina. And here is another key point. Recovery time takes longer as we age. Whether it's from a workout, an injury, or simply from day-to-day activities, our body needs more time to bounce back. But here's the thing, our body never stops healing. It just does so more slowly. Healing is still happening, just not as fast as when we were younger. So while it may feel frustrating, understanding this change is key to stopping the vicious cycle of decline. And now the good news. Aging doesn't have to mean inevitable decline, and the human body is far more capable of improvement than most of us realize. For example, we've talked earlier about muscle loss and sarcopenia. Resistance training is the most effective way to combat it. Regularly lifting weight can slow down, stop, and even reverse the effect of muscle loss. Lifting weight also have a huge impact on bone health. It can actually increase bone density, reducing the risk of fracture and making your bones stronger. And our joints benefit from training too. The more we move and stress our joints in a controlled way, the more resilient they become. Regular mobility training can help keep our joint flexible, strong, and less prone to stiffness and calcification. Training with a wide range of movement and motion can help keep everything working smoothly. Dancing is also a great option because it allows our joints to move in a wide variety of ranges of motion. Our cardiovascular system is incredibly adaptable too. While it's true that our VO2 max decrease over time, it doesn't have to become a limiting factor. Regular cardio training can maintain your endurance at a level that allows you to keep living an active and functional life. And it's very fascinating to see how adaptable our cardiovascular system is even under challenging conditions. For example, there is a study where older individuals had severely blocked artery. Instead of requiring surgery, they made them walk 30 minutes every day, pushing themselves a little beyond the pain tolerance. Over time, the body formed new collateral to bypass the blockage, and it's a powerful reminder that the body is capable of remarkable adaptation even in later life. Now let's talk about strategies to train or to keep training as we age. The first case is you never trained before. The good news is it's never too late to start. A study involving 80 years old who began a strength program for 8 weeks showed significant gains in muscle mass and bone density. The results were impressive, showing some clear improvement in strength and overall quality of life. So it doesn't matter if you never picked a weight before. Your body will still respond and you will feel the benefit, no matter how old and untrained you are. And now let's assume that you've been training for years or even your whole life and you want to know how to keep training as you age. As we get older, it's important to accept that our training will need some adjustments to maintain as much muscle mass as possible and avoid injuries. For example, you might not be able to train with the same volume, intensity, or frequency than when you were 20 or 30. And that's because recovery time is longer, and trying to push at the same intensity, volume, and frequency as when you were 20 and 30 might lead to overtraining and even injuries. If you've been used to hitting heavy weights 4 or 5 times a week, you may find that scaling back to 3 or even 2 days a week allows for better recovery without sacrificing gains. Instead of doing multiple sets of heavy lifts, consider reducing the volume. For example, rather than doing 8 sets of 5s at very high intensity, consider doing 5 sets of 3s at slightly lower intensity. This approach reduces the strain on your joints while still stimulating the strength gains. And if lifting heavy all the time is not an option anymore, consider moderate weight and higher reps, or even incorporating techniques like tempo, where you can control the speed of the reps to maximize muscle tension. Another useful strategy as we age is to use periodization, a method of cycling through different training phases to allow more recovery and avoid burnouts. For example, you might have a month where you focus on low reps and high intensity. And then you have another month where you have moderate weight and higher reps. And then you have a third month where you focus on lighter weight and more endurance-based work. This strategy can allow to keep your body fresh while still ensuring that you're working through the whole range of fitness. Another thing you can do is, instead of sticking to the traditional 7-day split, you can try 10 or even 14 days. For example, let's say you're doing heavy deadlift every Friday. Instead of doing every Friday with 7 days of recovery, you can try to do with 10 days in between heavy deadlift, or even 2 weeks between heavy deadlift. This extended recovery time between heavy sessions will give your body more time to heal while still allowing you to train hard. And this is especially useful for compound like deadlift and squat, which are taxing the system more. And remember to deload. This is important for everybody, but especially for older athletes. It's important that once in a while you take a week off where you train at a lower intensity, where you can give your body the time to fully recover before starting a new block. Another strategy could be incorporating more joint-friendly movements. As you age, joint function and joint health becomes critical. And while exercises like back squat and deadlift are amazing, you might want to add up some variations just to reduce the stress on your joints and your knees, your hips and your shoulders. So, for example, sometimes you could replace back squat with goblet squats or even variations of split squat. You could also replace deadlift with Romanian deadlift or even one-leg deadlift with a kettlebell. You could also incorporate more machine work like leg presses or chest presses. And while free weights are very nice, machines can take off the stress on your joints while still working on hypertrophy and strength. It's important to understand that the way you're going to adjust your training depends on you, what you like best, and how your body feels. The key here is to find a balance that works for you. But you can stay active, lift weight until the end. Personally, I'd rather be the oldest guy in the gym than the youngest guy in the nursing home. And the benefits of training and exercising extend far beyond the gym. Stronger muscles, stronger bones, and cardiovascular system translate directly into our day-to-day living. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, standing up from a chair or even from the floor, or simply moving around. And there's also a profound impact on mental health. People who train regularly experience less anxiety, better cognitive function, and better mood in general. Staying strong is about enhancing your entire life. So whether you've been training your whole life or you're just getting started, the message is very clear. Strength, cardio, and mobility are your best allies in aging well. Your body is built to adapt, and it's never too late to make progress. Alright you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope it gave you a clearer picture on what aging does to our body, and most importantly, how much control we still have over the process. And if you found this video helpful, remember to hit the like button, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you guys!